Okay, here's a video reviewing the rational expressions quiz, which is the up-and-coming retake. In order to simplify radicals, essentially all I have to do is factor and then cross out things that are like. So in order to factor the numerator here, I'm going to do a and m factoring. Things that multiply to give me negative 10 are things like, let's say, 5 and 2. If I make that negative 5 and positive 2, that'll add to negative 3. So that multiplies to negative 10, adds to negative 3. Okay, negative 5 and 2. So this is equal to x minus 5, x plus 2. My numerator is done. My denominator has an x in common. So I'm going to pull an x out from each of these. That makes it x parentheses x minus 5. Essentially, if I distributed the x back in, I would get this. That's the goal. Make my eraser a little smaller. Okay. And I actually don't need to put those lines there. Now, since these are the same, cross those out. And my final answer is x plus 2 over x. To factor question number 2, just simplify again. I'm going to pull an x out from both of these. So this is going to be equal to x parentheses x minus 3. My denominator has an x in it, all three terms. So I can simplify this twice actually. X parentheses x squared minus 5x plus 6. And then this is a and m factoring. As the negative 5 multiplies to positive 6, this is going to be negative 3 and negative 2. So my fully factored denominator is this. So now that it's all fully factored, x minus 3, x minus 2, and what can I cross out? I can cross out the x's, I can cross out the x minus 3's, and when everything crosses out on one side, I leave a 1. So my final answer is 1 over x minus 2. For question number 3, multiply. All this really is, multiplication, is just simplifying by factoring and crossing out. So multiplication is not actually like multiplication at all. So if I want to rewrite this, x squared minus 9 can become x plus 3, x minus 3, because that's difference of two squares. This is still over 2x. On the right-hand side, this numerator has a 2x in common between them. So times, pull out that 2x, leaving me with 2x plus 5. Let's see if I distribute back in. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 5 is 10x. Okay, good. So that's correct. And my denominator doesn't change because it was already simplified, x plus 3. And let's see what can cross out now. I've got x plus 3 and x plus 3. I've got 2x and 2x. And so there's nothing left in bottom, so I can put a 1 there, but I don't really have to. So I can rewrite this as x minus 3, 2x plus 5. Over 1 or not over 1, it doesn't matter in this case. Question 4. Question 4 is division. With division, I have to change to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. So let's keep change flip first. I'm not changing anything yet. M plus 2 over m plus 7. Change to multiplication, flip this, m squared plus 7m over m squared minus m, which is 1m, minus 6. Now that I have kept it, changed it, and flipped it, it's multiplication just like the last question. So let's see, I can simplify this. This can become m plus 7, because I can pull an m out from both of them. The bottom here looks like double bubble factoring. Let's see. Things that add to 1 and multiply to negative 6. So this is m minus 3. M plus 2. You see that's right. Those add to negative 1 and then multiply to negative 6. Yep, that's correct. Now I'm just going to take the first fraction down. It didn't have anything that could be simplified, so it's just coming along for the ride. Now let's see what can cross out. Top and bottom, anything is fine. So I've got m plus 2, m plus 2. I've got m plus 7, m plus 7. And nothing else crosses out because these m's are on the same side, so they can't cross out. So when I wrap it all up, m and m is on top, so that's m squared. And on the bottom is m minus 3. And that would be my final answer. For addition, in order to add, I need to get the same denominator. And so I think my common denominator is going to be 6x squared. So multiply by 6 on top and bottom here. And this one needs another x. Now this is 6x squared, and this is 6x squared. So I can smush them together. That's what addition and subtraction are, really. So let's see. This is equal to 12x plus 6 parentheses x plus 1, all over the same denominator of 6x squared. Let's do a little distribution here. This can be rewritten as 12x plus 6x plus 6 all over 6x squared. Let's keep simplifying, combine some like terms. When I combine like terms, 12x and 6x, that's going to be 18x plus 6 all over 6x squared. And I need to be knowledgeable, cognizant, aware of the fact that all of these terms can be divided by 6. So divide by 6 on all the terms. Essentially what I'm saying is, let's factor out a 6. So this becomes 6 parentheses 3x plus 1 over 6x squared. Let's see, 6 times 3x is 18x. Yeah, 6 times 1 is positive 6. Okay, good. So that's what it was in the first place. I didn't change its value, just changed what it looked like, and now I can cross out the 6's. So my final answer for this one is 3x plus 1 over x squared. That'd be my answer for question 5. With subtraction, I have the same thing. I want to get a common denominator. Oh wait, look how kind I was. I already gave you one. So I can smush them because they have a common denominator. And when I smush them, I need to be aware that the subtraction applies to both of these terms. So I'm going to distribute the negative as I rewrite. So let's see. X squared minus 2x minus 3x minus a negative 4, so that's plus 4, is all over the same denominator of x minus 1. Let's combine some like terms up top. This is going to become x squared minus 5x plus 4 all over x minus 1. This might be factorable. Let's see. Maybe a and m will work. So what multiplies to give me 4? It's 2 and 2, or 4 and 1. 4 and 1 might work. It needs to add to negative 5, so let's see, negative and negative. Those would add to negative 5, yeah. Negative 4 and negative 1. And they multiply to positive 4. Oh, good. So these will work. So when I factor the top, I'm going to get x minus 4, x minus 1, still over the same denominator. And the x minus 1's will cancel. So my final answer here is just x minus 4. Next question. Solve. When we were solving, what we did was we got the same denominator. That denominator in this case is going to be 5y squared. We can do that by multiplying top and bottom. This is 5y and 5y. Now let's see, 5y squared, 5y squared, 5y squared. Everything I did on the bottom I balanced on the top, so I can cross all these out. 5y times 2 is going to be 10y, plus 5 times 18, which is 90, equals 1 times y, which is just regular y. I'm going to minus 10y from both sides to get all the y's together. I get 90 equals negative 9y, because that's 1 minus 10. And I'll divide both sides by negative 9. And we're going to get that y equals negative 10. And that's my solution to question 7. Question 8 just says state the excluded values from the domain. The values excluded are the values that make the denominator equal to 0. So let's see, the denominator is this. So what values would make x squared plus 6x plus 8 equal to 0? Well, let's see if we can do a and m. Add to 6, multiply to 8. I think it's going to be 4 and 2. Those would add to 6, and they would multiply to 8. So equals 0. T-chart, negative 4, and negative 2. So those are the excluded values. Those are the values that x cannot be, because it would make the fraction undefined. Okay, and I'm not going to go over the bonus, because if you're really interested, you can just talk to me about that in class, and there will not be a bonus on the retake. So good luck. If you need any more help, please feel free to come to office hours. I am here to help.